Well, hey y'all, how are you doing today? I'm Eve with the Baby's Booty, and we are coming to you live tonight. We have a really informative show. It's actually going to be pretty detailed, and I want your opinion. Okay, so this is all going to be a show that will help your business. Okay, if you're looking to have a business, and even if you're not looking to make money off of this, I still think that it's imperative to discuss the options, what's out there, and the choice that you should make. And of course, at the end of the day, despite what anyone else has to say about our discussion today, the responses that we get, it's all about information. All right. The final decision is definitely going to land in your lap. But my whole thing about any of the projects that we work with, any of the materials that we work with, any of the equipment that I promote or talk about here on this channel is all suggestions. Okay, so these are suggestions just to keep you informed because why not make an informed decision, right? We want you to get the best bang for your buck, no matter which route you want to take. Now, this particular show today is going to be kind of like all over the map, so to speak. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this is a topic that will encompass all of the crafts that we currently work with. Okay. So normally here on the channel, we celebrate, we deal with embroidery, we celebrate the embroidery babies, we do sublimation, celebrate the sublimation babies, we do vinyl, we do bling, celebrate those babies. Well, we're going to open up just a little bit more and add a couple other things in. Okay. So I definitely would like to have an open-ended discussion with you all this evening. So there's going to be a lot of reading into the chat if you have access to that. I know on some of the TVs, you guys may not have access to chat, to see the chat or to chat with us. But if you can, and I know it's a stretch for some people, but if you can get on your phone or a tablet so that you can chat and weigh in with us, that would be really appreciated because the more information and the more dialogue and back and forth that we have, the better this show is going to be. All right. Well, in addition, to having our dialogue and our discussion tonight, we're also going to be making mugs as we talk, okay? Because I have found something really cool that I've been enjoying and I wanted to share it with you all. And so we're going to do a couple of those projects while we're here talking about this, okay? So I'm going to, give me one moment. I'm going to check and make sure. Okay, there we go. I need to adjust the camera so that you guys can have access, and we're going to flip the camera around here in a moment. There we go. All right, so we got something new cooking, y'all. We got something new. Who wants to see what we got new cooking? You want to see what we got new cooking? We got a new mug cooking. Let's switch you over. Boom. What does that mean? Who knows what that means over there on the table? This right here. Who knows what that stands for? All that lit up and going on. Let me know what you think that means here at the Baby's Booty, and we'll go ahead and get that started here in a moment. And while I wait on those responses, I'm going to flip back over so that we can go ahead and get our show completely started this evening with what we normally do. So first of all, here at the Baby's Booty, we want to thank you. We do have our own group. It is on Facebook, the Hoop Group. You also have access to, as you see down here in the link below my picture, thebabysbooty.com. You can go there as well. We have forums of sort. You can join that. And you, on both places, on the forum as well as on the Hoop Group on Facebook, you can post pictures of the projects that you've been working on and the things that you've been enjoying lately, or any questions that you may have and need answers to. I've seen a lot of folks have been doing a lot more interacting in the group, asking questions and getting feedback and suggestions, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. You also have the options of joining here on our channel. Of course, there's a subscription. You could subscribe to our channel. We're over 40K, which is totally awesome. So join in on our group. Why not? You're not going to miss anything. You're going to have a lot of fun and join in with us all. But also, there are memberships here on our channel, which we really, really appreciate, which allows us to have fun with toys like what we're going to be dealing with tonight. And in doing so, the memberships also come with an opportunity to get a free bale. Now, of course, we have to order these bales. When the bales come in, we get them tricked out and then mailed out to you guys. They're a part of your membership. So if you want a bell, just go onto our website, thebabiesbooty.com, tap the request a bell button in the middle of the page and fill out the information. Let us know what your YouTube username is, and we will send out a bell once we confirm the membership. But you also have the option of, in addition to getting a bell, whoo, that's hot. This is hot. As you see, I done crisped the top of it, but we'll get into that in a minute. But in addition to requesting a membership, we also have different levels. So it's not just one level, and any and all help is appreciated with this channel. One of the things I do appreciate is you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and join us every week. So I would like to say hello to all of the folks who are joining us this evening. And I'm going to start here on the very beginning, which usually it is, and it is today. Inspiration Creations, Lori from Canada. Hello, my dear. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. Treasure Designs LLC, Columbus, Georgia, she says, says, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. EJ's daughter, thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member here on our channel. Leila Nelson, thank you as well for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Gail Moore, thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Dana Pendarvis, hello, welcome. Thank you as well for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Sheila Cushionberry's in here saying hello, Hoop Group. Hey, Sheila Cushionberry. Isabel Morgan, hello, how are you? Knick-Knack Nurse, hello. So Crafty, welcome this evening, and thank you as well for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Erica McNeil is in the house. Elizabeth Parthenia, hello. Gail McNair says hello from Tucson, Arizona. Miss Mary's here. Miss Lady D is here. Ethel Smith, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. I appreciate you being here. Lori Campbell says thumbs up to everyone. Miss Robin Bryant, how are you this evening? Nakomi Butler, hello. Harmony Ling, hello. Simone Warren, welcome. And thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member as well. Juwana, hello. Welcome. Shayna Kraus with the side pony. Yes, yes, we're here with the side pony. Marianne, hello. And Tot H, hello. Welcome. Haven't seen your name before, so welcome. Miss Andrea Ross, good evening to you as well. And thank you as well for being a YouTube Hoop Group member here on our group. Wendy G, good evening to you as well. Suzanne, go Grand Go. Always a pleasure to have you here from the Florida Space Coast. Jeanette Davis, welcome. Thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member as well. I appreciate it. Lori, no, I have not. I haven't actually worked on it again because this week, for whatever reason, after I logged off on Sunday, I already had one order, but it was like orders came flooding in. So I've been pretty busy, and then there's a little bit of time I had to take for myself this week, unfortunately, but fortunately. So I have not touched it again, and I haven't done anything with embroidery yet, but I'm going to have to work on it this week because I have a project coming up that I wanted to do with the captains, and we'll be talking about that more towards the end of the show because I want to make sure most of the captains are here before we get into that. But thank you for asking. Scooby-Doo, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. We really appreciate it, and thank you so very much for your support. Marissa is here. Happy Sunday evening to you as well. Wendy G, yes, it's the Mug Press. Miss Eartha Lewis, welcome. EJ's daughter, Mug Press. Yes, yes. And thank you, EJ's daughter, for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Debbie Chavis, welcome. Yes, I did, Miss Little Nelson. So you guys, let's get our bell warmed up tonight for the Cricut Mug Press. Yes. And then So Crafty says she just got her Mug Press and her Cricut Joy. Congratulations, Carmen. Yay! She's going to be doing some mugs. I have 2, 4, 6 mugs sitting over here, actually 7 and 8. Let me show y'all what happened with mug number 1. Mug number one. Oh my gosh. Y'all, when I pulled it off, I was like, You knew better. But I was kind of tickled with how what I was able to do with it, and we'll talk about that tonight as well, because I thought that was pretty darn cool, and we'll go over that. That's why the Cricut Joy is sitting over there as well. So super excited about that. Let us see. Miss Elizabeth says stands for me going even more broke thanks to Cricut. I know, right? That's definitely how that works out. We got us a new member tonight. We got Diane McCoy. Welcome to you for the Who group here on YouTube. Thank you, ma'am. Woo! Miss Diane, yes. Thank you very much for being a member of the Who group here on our channel. I really appreciate that. Let us see. Melody Wilcox says she loves her mug press. That's what's up. It's actually pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool. Very simple to use. I only have one kind of somewhat of a complaint, but it's not really a complaint. But we'll get into that here in a little bit as well. Jeanette says I said that I was not going to get one, but I did anyways. And the joy, I know, right? It's always something. Sharon DeBerry, hello. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Marissa says, I keep asking myself, do I really need the Cricut Joy? I understand. Suzanne R. Hello, hello. Simone Warren. And Danda Pandara says, hello to my sister. That's cool. I love the family in here. Angelia Baker, welcome, welcome. Pam Sally, the Facebook group is the Hoop group, HOOP group. And you should see a picture of me and Sir McQuackins when you click on that. Evelyn, hello, how are you? Robin Bryant just got her mug press too. Congratulations, Robin Bryant, on your mug press. Woo, yes. Holler. Simone Warren said I did that yesterday. What did you do yesterday? Take some time for yourself. PJ Coppage, hello, how are you? Diane McCoy, good evening. Tati says from Virginia. Oh, Trudy, Virginia, welcome. Thank you for letting me know where you're from. Allison Holloway, hello to you as well. Sean H, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Julie, hello. Laverne says, thank you for introducing you to Sew It Pro. Yes, congratulations. Gosh, I love Sew It Pro. It is a phenomenal software program. I'm talking about a problem. Ooh, it is far from a problem. Excellent program. It's definitely very helpful when it comes to doing embroidery projects and editing embroidery files. So it's totally awesome sauce. Thank you, Pam Sally, for letting me know that you'll be joining up. We look forward to seeing you around in the Hoop group. Renee, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Debbie D, hey, Debbie D, welcome. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop group member. Willa Allen, good evening to you as well. Sheila Cushenberry got a 6x10 coming Tuesday. Girl, we looking forward to ringing the bell for you on Sunday. Be sure to let us know. Don't forget. Dolores, welcome. Thank you. You say you need classes. We have a few classes. So let me know what you're looking to have classes on. We can probably make some arrangements. Debbie Tavis, welcome back. Thank you for joining us this evening. So too we begin embroidery. Hello, hello, welcome, and thank you very much for being a YouTube Hoop group member. And I actually need an email from you. So too we begin embroidery. So if you don't mind, shoot me an email to thebabiesbooty@gmail. Please, I really need it because your Captain's Perk file is ready, and I'm wanting to send out all of the files to the captains because I've picked out your free embroidery design for the month of April, and I need to get that to you, but I don't think I have your email address. I want to make sure that I have it. Elizabeth Rathburn says, what are the different Hoop Group subscriptions and the difference between them? Now, are you meaning here on YouTube? There's all of the perks are listed on the YouTube membership page. So when you click join, it'll list the 3 different levels of memberships. It starts out with just your basic membership, which is something like $4.99 a month, and it allows you to have access to the emojis, the custom emojis here on YouTube, and it also allows you to request a free bell if you want one. And also the highest level is the captains, and the captains group pretty much they get a monthly craft of some sort from me, and generally it's something that we'll do together. So either we'll craft together or we will have a get together, and then you'll still get your free design, whatever it is, for the month. So that's what the captain's membership is for. So yeah, that's the 3 different levels. There's also a middle level, which just allows you to add a little bit more to your contribution to the channel. Not too much more, and it's just something to help us out here on our in our studio. Let's see what else we have. Elizabeth says, okay, that was Miss Elizabeth. Sheila Cushenberry, drink your coffee in front of a mirror. Right? I have the snappiest comebacks. I absolutely love it. I'm gonna have to remember. That's like the one thing I saw with he was like the doctor told him to watch what he eat, and he was eating in front of the mirror. Love it. Love the snappy. Like it. Like it. Wendy G says, I just got my 16 by 24 photo ink heat press. Congratulations, girl, Wendy G. Woo! Yes. Yes for the heat press. Yes. Always like a new heat press. And 16 by 24 is nice and generous for all the sublimation you're going to be doing, girl. Appreciate you. Linda Owens, welcome. Thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member and appreciate you joining us this evening. Hey, Little Miss Boutique, how are you? Welcome. Wendy G, welcome. Let's see. Christine, hello, good evening to you as well. Gorgeous Rose, hello, my dear. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Miss 143, welcome and thank you very much for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Have one of the grandbabies? No worries. Tell Isaiah to behave. We appreciate him joining us and he can have fun with his grandma while we watch the channel. Willie Roseman, welcome, welcome. Kingsbury Crab says, what did I miss? Not too much, not too much. We'll get back to it here in a moment. Diane McCoy, thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. You're welcome. Walk by Faith from Texas, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Let's see, Corinthian Smith, welcome. Haven't seen your name before. Thank you for joining us this evening. Simone Warren got her Epson 2720 for Sublimation. Woo! Yes, holla. So you guys will really be able to weigh in on this $5,000 question tonight. I'm super excited about talking about that with you all. Miss Pressure 412, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Melody Wilcox got the 12 by 10, not twin, easy press this week. Congratulations, all the babies. Woo! Yes. Congratulations. Let's see. Dolores says, really want to learn how to do the rhinestones. I've had an embroidery machine since last year. Nice, nice. Rhinestones are not super difficult. They can be done. We have several videos here on this channel. Just definitely check those out. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the Hoop group on Facebook and we'll see about addressing it. But for the most part, a lot of it depends on what you're trying to accomplish with the rhinestone. So if you're looking to create your own rhinestone designs, that's going to be a little bit more difficult because you have to actually design and somewhat lay those stones out on your own, and in some instances, one at a time. So I'm going to let that go ahead and cut off for right now. But so keep that in mind. There are folks out there who are already designing rhinestone designs for people. You can purchase or hire someone to create one, and they're not super expensive to create. But making it yourself can be a significant challenge, especially if you don't have a good quality rhinestone creation software program. Okay, so keep me updated as to what you're looking to be able to accomplish on your own, and we can go into that, especially in the Hoop group. Marge Campbell, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Dorothy Gaston, I have a J35 sewing embroidery machine. I've had a lot of internet issues last week. Oh no, welcome. So you got you a new J35 sewing embroidery machine. Woo! Yes. Holler, holler. Congratulations, Miss Dorothy Gaston. Kingsbury Craft says, congratulations to everyone on the new babies. Andrea, hello, welcome. Andrea Tomanga, welcome. The email so to we begin embroidery is the baby's booty, just like you see it in this website web address right here, the baby's booty, but at gmail.com. Just add the at gmail and shoot me an email, please. Good evening. I feel you on the mug. I pressed my logo upside down. Simone says, y'all, I was trying to tell you, I was like super embarrassed. And thank you, Simone, for being a YouTube Hoop group member. Dolores says, I've used it 3 times. I'm trying to work my way into sublimation too. Well, what we're going to do tonight, the way we're going to do our mug project, it's pretty easy way to get into doing some sublimation, which I thought was really, really cool. And you know what? Now I think about it, I didn't put the link to one part, so I'm gonna have to remember to do that once we get into the project. Nita VR Designs, welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. So let's see. Dorothy Swindle, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Miss Bickham, welcome, and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. I appreciate you joining us this evening. Alice says she just got a 5-in-1 heat press. Moving up in the world. Well, let's ring this bell for you. Moving up. Woo! Yes. Yes. Congratulations on your 5-in-1 heat press. Those are awesome because you can do mugs, you can do hats, you can do plates. There's a lot of really cool stuff. Andrea, they also keep me updated on some things. I haven't, because the last time we did a open box do flachi from them, I think I showed everything. I may not have shown everything, but we only do a couple of things out of the new box at a time. And then we do another sublimation show and do more stuff out of the box. So we have another sublimation show coming up with some of the new stuff that they have going on. Miss 143. Thank you, Isaiah. No worries. I love to say hey to the babies. All right, you guys. So oh, wait a minute. Nope. Corinthian Smith just got a PE 800. Woo, bell ring for you. Holler. Congratulations on your new PE 800, your 5x7, baby. I hear you, girl. That's what's up. Patrina, no worries. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Marge says, I tried using laminating sheets to sublimate on old photo frames and it worked pretty good. That's what's up because the lamination thing is kind of like touchy. You have to hold your mouth right type situation to make sure there are no bubbles and stuff like that when you are using the lamination paper on certain materials. So let us go ahead and pull off the paper because I think this should be cool by now. I ran my mouth long enough. So this mug, yes, I finally remembered to mirror. So this is actually something that I came up with, and I'm going to show you exactly how I came up with it with this mug design. I thought it was super, super cute, and I just sat here and decided to come up with something so that we can show you guys how it works. And we also will go ahead and get into our discussion this evening. But while we're working on those mugs, let me go ahead and open up the floor because let's say hey to Miss Barbara Gabbard. She said she finally made it. Oh no, yas. She said I could have had a cameo for. Oh no, they're still there, Miss Barbara. That's one thing I will let you know because I've been in this business for 5, 6 years now. And when I first started, it was with the little 4x4 embroidery machine. And it happened to be on a Black Friday deal. And I was able, fortunately, to take advantage of that Black Friday deal and get started. Although it took me about a year before I actually opened the machine and really started working with it. But that's how I started. And if it weren't for that Black Friday deal, I doubt I would have had that machine. Because one of the things that people tend to not realize when it comes to getting into the garment decor business, for instance, sublimation, there are inexpensive ways to get into it, but it can be pricey. If you purchase a true live sublimation printer like the Sawgrass or the Ricoh, stuff like that, you're going to kick out. Those machines are, close to $1,000. And now, due to the pandemic and the way folks kind of like rushed in and bought up all the sewing machines and embroidery machines and whatnot, that has driven up the prices of our equipment quite substantially. You will not find generally a brand new embroidery machine now for the $270 that I paid for mine way back in the day. You can probably find a used one, possibly the 4x4, but it's going to be pretty difficult. And now the 5x7s are pushing $1,000. I mean, you can find them, $8.99 or $7.99 if you hold your mouth right. But the problem is they're few and far in between at that price. So keeping that in mind, that brings me to the question that I asked in our Facebook group last week. Now, let me preface this by saying there was no, hidden agenda. There was no giveaway or anything like that. Because I had a couple of people hit me up. It was like, are you giving away $5,000? That'll be a no, ma'am. I hope one day it comes where I have enough disposable income where I can be like, you know what, let's do a $5,000 giveaway. Like we hit 100,000 viewers on this channel and we can give away a nice sum. But even then, doubt it'll be 5K. But at any rate, I just, if a person was given that type of opportunity, what options would you utilize? Okay, so the question that I asked on Facebook was, if you had $5,000 or $5,000 became available to you, what would you do with it? Okay, what would you do with it? And it would have to be something in relation to your craft business. So say for instance you got a business loan. Someone offered you a business loan and you were able to get one for $5,000. How would you use that to invest back into your business? That was the question that I asked. And, like I said, a couple of people were like, why are you asking? And a lot of it was because there have been instances where I had access to additional funds. And then you're sitting there like, ooh, okay, so not saying it was 5K, but saying, okay, should I get a new embroidery machine? Should I get a new Cricut? Should I get a new silhouette? Should I go sublimation, get a sublimation printer? Or what else is out there that I would have access to? Should I get, I don't know, I saw a marrow machine. Somebody near me was selling a marrow machine. And if you're not familiar with a marrow machine, it's basically like a serger or sewing machine, the serger that creates that edge on the sewing machine, but it does the specific edging for patches. The marrow only does the edging for patches. Okay, so no matter what patch it is that you're trying to do, this machine would actually go around the edge of your patch and put that specific stitch on the end of it. And somebody was selling one, and I was like, ooh, do I really want to do? How many patches do I do? And that's where I was like, you know what? If a person had that type of disposable income, what would they invest in? So that's what I would like to ask you guys, because, and I'm going to here on my screen pull up a couple of the responses that was given out there on Facebook. Probably won't give names unless the person is in here and wouldn't mind me giving out names, but for the most part, I wanted to go over that and let you guys know some of the responses and see what your responses would be. And the reason for that, another reason for that, is because someone gave an answer and I was like, okay, why would they choose that instead of choosing this? Okay, so I know a couple of one of the things that I've discussed through the last, it's been 2 years now, I think. Has it been 2 years? No, it's been a year and a half since we've gotten the red line. And the difference between purchasing a major name brand embroidery, multi-needle embroidery machine versus a industrial embroidery machine, where a person is paying major buckage for a name, versus just going industrial. That's been something that I've talked about many times here on this channel. So a lot of people said 10 needle embroidery machine. Other people said a 6 needle embroidery machine. Someone else mentioned the Persona, which is the single needle, but it's the larger embroidery machine. And I know why a person would say that, because it should give you the option of being able to do hats, but that machine still isn't a good machine for doing hats. It's pretty much the truth. But you're talking about, like, for instance, the 6 needle embroidery machine, you're talking about $8,000 roughly. And if I'm not mistaken, that's with $1,000 price reduction because I opted out of the software because I use Sew It Pro. So it should have been $9,000 embroidery machine for the 6 needle, whereas the red line, you're talking about $8,000 and you're talking about 15 needles. Much bigger machine, twice the hoops. Um, you got your cap driver, you got everything that comes with it, you know. So why would a person make that choice? Of course, the choice is up to each individual person. But these are the questions. This is the topic of discussion of what we wanted to talk about tonight. Okay. So I'm going to roll back over to the Facebook chat real quick. Not Facebook chat, the YouTube chat. And see, I saw Sheila Cushionberry. She said, telling me about it, my sawgrass was over $1,000. Okay. So with the sawgrass. So let's get into that. You have $5,000 to spend. You get a sawgrass. She says it's over $1,000. So let's, for instance, and say that the sawgrass is 1,200. Y'all know how I am about math, so I'm gonna put me a calculator in the background to make sure I ain't lying to nobody. Um, but you're talking about $5,000, and just for the sake of argument, you were able to get it free shipping and a startup of ink and paper, okay, for 1,200. So that leaves you $3,800 to buy um, uh, blanks, to buy more ink so that you don't have to buy so quickly after this, plus the paper to go with it for sawgrass. So $3,800, how much, like Sheila Cushionberry, how much is the refill cartridges for that sawgrass? Um, I would like to know, and then we'll get into the math on that because we'll start with the sublimation, then I'm going to move to a couple of other things. All right. Um, and then Sheila says, I got lucky and found my 6x10 used with less than 7,000 stitches for $880. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. See, so sometimes you can find those deals. And if you find those deals, you're saving money. Harmony said, I would get everything for sublimation and more supplies in general, but you already have your sublimation printer and stuff. So when you already have something that you're utilizing and it's working for you, yes, sublimation blanks and supplies and stuff like that would definitely help, especially with extra ink and whatnot. Candy A says she would buy blanks and stock up on supplies, then I would have to think about the rest after that. And blanks can be pricey too, actually. Once you get into it. I see somebody saying something about Sheila. Hold on. Oh, you was ringing the bell for her. You didn't get the 6x10 recently, did you, Sheila? Did we ring the bell for you? Marianne says I would get a direct to garment printer. Good point. Good point. Let's pull up our direct to garment. Because I actually started looking into a friend of mine has branched off and made her own business, and we were looking at some ideas of expanding aside from embroidery and Cricut. Not Cricut, she has Silhouette. And come to find out, they sell direct to garment printers on Amazon. How in the world did that start? So I was under the impression direct to garment, you're looking at $12,000, right? Well, here's a direct to garment printer on Amazon for $2,900. Let me see if I can flip y'all over. Here we go. Okay, so you're looking at here, we have $2,900. So far, 6 people have rated it. And of course, we all know that the ratings could be, you know, paid for or whatever. But just for the sake of argument, say that they're actually really good ratings. So you're talking about $2,900 from our 5K. Yeah. I know I got to use the calculator. So that leaves you $2,100. Now, the direct to garment printer, I'm more than positive. Let's see. It comes with free printing software. And where's the rest of the ink? We recommend to buy DuPont textile ink. So this doesn't even come with the ink. This does not come with the ink. So you have to buy the ink as well. Also, let's see how much this ink is. Also with the direct to garment. Okay, so this is the cleaning fluid, the ink, and the white ink fixing agent. Okay, so that's good. If I'm understanding correctly, that's the pre-treat, or is it not the pre-treat? But even still, this is 600. So you had 2100 left. Now we got to take off 600 for your inks and stuff. That leaves you 1500. So if you wanted to buy t-shirts, which of course doing direct to garment allows you to print on blank t-shirts um, without having to use polyester like you would need to do with sublimation. And you can do dark shirts with direct to garment as well, which is ideal for most of your customers. And with that, you can expand and not be stuck with just light color shirts. Now, this person says they wish the ink stayed vibrant for longer, but that's a given anyways when you deal with ink, because I've had a couple of direct to garment shirts done and they faded over time, but that's just how that cookie crumbles. So you have, you know, free delivery May 3rd, which isn't too bad. That's what, 2 weeks from now. Or you can pay to have it a little bit faster, but it looks like, the time frame is about the same, ships within 6 to 10 days. So here's an option. This is a valid option if you have 5K, and this is something that you can go with. But is this conducive? Is this something that would work for your business? Doing t-shirts, how many t-shirts do you do? This machine, I don't see an option for hats on here. This is all just flat stuff. And usually you're talking about thin t-shirts. You're not talking about hoodies, because in a lot of instances, the hoodies will be too thick for this machine. Some of them have a way to lower the platen or the table so that you can get thicker garments on there. We would have to do some research to see if that's the case, but that's something to keep in mind, for those of you who are looking to get into direct to garment, because the $12,000 machine that I did work with when I went and did because I have a video here where I went to her shop, and they had the big $12,000 direct garment machine, and they had a different size um, tabletop to go in. I want to call it a platen because that kind of reminds me of the flat part of the heat press. But they had one for kids, so you got to pay extra for that. They had a flat part that interchanges, one for kids, one for adults, and I don't think they had one for sweatshirts. So I don't know if the sweatshirts worked on it or not. And they didn't have one for hats. So, you're with sublimation, you can print it out, you can press it to a hat if you have a hat press. Um, you can put it on a wide array of things, keychains, coffee mugs, all kinds of stuff. But with a direct to garment, you're talking about t-shirts for the most part only. Is that worth the $3,000? Sorry, not three. You're talking about 29 plus 5, so $3,500. Is it worth it? And those are the questions that you want to ask, which is why we're talking about um, those questions. Let me go down and see where are you? Sheila, don't remember off the top of your head, haven't tried to order refills yet, but went with Sawgrass because I would have a warranty on it. And that's the other thing. So you do pay more, but in a lot of instances, you get a warranty. And Sheila does say that the refills are expensive. Okay. So that's where we're talking about. Sawgrass 1000 is 1600. Okay. So which one you do? Andrea says the brother is the easiest to use, costs the most. There are machines available, but everyone wants. A lot of people do want brother, but they find out that the biggest bang for the buck, it depends on the person, what they're willing to deal with. Like for instance, with the red line, certain small repairs I would be able to do, whereas with the brother, I have to take it in to have it serviced. And so every time I take it in, you're talking about $400 or $500 to get it worked on, serviced, adjusted, whatever needs to be done. Someone was saying they were looking at a 10 needle brother for 18 more than a Melco. Harmony. Harmony was like, yeah, that's a no for me, dog. That's funny. So yeah, there's different options out there. And again, that's where this discussion is coming in and what choice is better, what other options are out there, because some people may not have known that there's a direct to garment option available on Amazon. They could have been like me. I didn't know that. I didn't know that till honestly, I didn't know that till I put the question in the group. And when I put the question in the group and someone was like a direct to garment, I'm like, how are you gonna get a direct to garment for 5K? And I was like, oh, I wonder if it's one on Amazon. And looked on Amazon. Yep, there is one. So I didn't know that they've come down in price now. But I guess with the availability of getting things from overseas, makes sense, right? Inspiration Creation says her answer in the group was supplies because I think I have all the machines I want. But then I saw some people saying a she shed. So to change my answer to a pretty shed, yeah, the she shed would be a good answer, especially if you're looking to have dedicated space that no one else has access to. And it would allow a customer to come to a space that's outside of your home if you wanted to, and they could use that to use as a, you could use that as a shop where they could come and visit. So that would be cool. Dolores says I would use 5K to upstart my business, making sure I have the equipment for the different types of crafting I want to include in my business. And that's where it's like, okay, what are the different crafts that are out there? Which is the whole purpose of this discussion, is to open it up and let you guys know what all is out there. Betty's Nails, hello, how are you? Miss Bickham knows someone who's looking for a Marrow. Shoot me an email. I'll see if it's, send me a text. Actually, you can send me a text and let me know if, because I can't remember how much it was. I'll see if it's still available. It should be, because I don't know that anybody around here would know what a Marrow is. Laverne Miller says a sawgrass printer and save the rest. So that's what's up. Now, there's also a white toner printer. Who all is familiar with the white toner printer? We've talked about it here on this channel, and that's something else I kind of want to get into as well in discussing with you all, because I am straight tripping off this white toner printer. So I would like to know who all is aware of that. Candy A, I'm not sure I would buy an embroidery machine unless I could pay for all of it or most of it off. True. But buying blanks and supplies, I would be able to buy the machine with profits from that, and that's true as well. That is true as well. Betty's Nails, looking to start a little t-shirts business in sublimation and rhinestones. Okay, so a little t-shirt business in sublimation and rhinestone, you definitely can do with 5K. All right, so with sublimation, assuming you already have a laptop, even if you don't, $600 for a laptop, and you should be good to go. So out of the 5K, that leaves you with 4,400. I did that little bit of math pretty quick. So $4,400. Then you're looking at buying stones, which can get quite pricey, especially if you buy the good ones. Then you have your rhinestone flock that you would need to cut out your templates. You'll need all of the supplies, the brush, the pick a pen, the transfer tape, which is not tragically expensive, but you will need a cutting machine so that you can cut out your transfers. So now you need to invest in either a Cricut, a Brother Scan and Cut, a Silhouette, or you would need to invest in an off-name brand like, for instance, US Cutter, which is available on Amazon. So those are the things that you would need for rhinestones. And then for your sublimation, you would need to decide if you wanted to do sawgrass, which, as we saw, $1,600 for sawgrass, and then the ink and the supplies and things like that, which won't include your blank shirt. All right, but as far as that's concerned, I'm going to give a suggestion on the blanks. What I learned to do, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I still had it stuck on Amazon. What I've learned to do is I don't go out and just buy blanks. Okay, so, and a lot of that is because I do have quick access to a local warehouse wholesaler of shirts and such like that. So my local wholesaler If I order today before 3, it gets here tomorrow, not on Sunday, of course, if today was Monday. If I ordered before 3, it would come the next day, so I would have it as soon as Tuesday in most instances. So that being the case, what I tend to do is a customer contacts me, hey, I need 25 t-shirts. Okay, cool. What color, what sizes? They send me the list. I place the order online. After they pay for their order, I place the order, buy the shirts. They come the next day, do the shirts. Okay. And that saves you from having to keep inventory on hand, and it saves you from having inventory sitting stale, because I can't tell you how many shirts, t-shirts, sweatshirts I do have in the basement in plastic bags to keep them from, rodents or bugs or whatever, dust and dirt. And they're sitting there. They're sitting there because the shirts that I have aren't ones that people want. So it's better to buy as they order, unless, of course, you have folks that come and order on a regular basis. Like I have one customer who orders black t-shirts regularly. So if I were to keep her normal sizes in stock, I feel fairly confident that I could go through them pretty quickly, but I tell them usually that they have to give me a good 10-day turnaround time on custom shirts, even though she's a regular customer. I try to get them done earlier, usually get them done earlier, but I still give myself that time because you never know what could happen. So that being the case, I still don't keep her inventory. I order it fresh. It gets here fresh. I do the order and I'm done, right? So that can save you a little bit of headache, and that's just a little tip that I have started doing to keep shelf space, storage space clear and not just like overrun with t-shirts and stuff. Now, if I had my own shop, like in a mall or something like that, where I would be doing things on demand and a lot faster, that's a little bit different. All right, I would definitely keep inventory in that instance. Let us see. Where was I? Allison, I hate to hear that. Sometimes, unfortunately, is that usually, which is another reason because you never know where the 5K will come from, or the any kind of K, any kind of money. You don't know where it would come from, and insurance payout is a viable one, and it's one that's been used in the past. But look at the gift, the parting gift that was given to you, and that's a really cool thing because it allows you to continue to utilize it to help yourself. But again, you don't want to make the wrong choice with your money. And so that's why we're talking about it. You never know what else is out here, right? We got us a new member, Kimberly Joyner. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Woo! Yes. Holler. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us this evening. Let's see. Let me go back up. I have laying on the floor, fanning myself so crazy. That's funny, y'all. We already talked about that kind of stuff. We don't want to bring that up. Where am I? Where am I? Ooh, y'all been answering. I appreciate that. I don't want to get too far back. Okay, so Glowforge. So till we begin embroidery said I would get a Glowforge. Yes, I was considering that at one point in time in my life, especially they have Afterpay, I think now. They have some kind of way where you can pay over time. So I was considering the Glowforge, but a viewer here, if she's here, I don't know if she's in here tonight. Andrea, she has a Glowforge, and several folks have complained that it hasn't lasted. It like breaks. And then you have to have it vented because there's a significant odor with that, which we're going to talk about that here as well in a minute. Not Glowforge, but the mug press, the sublimation is quite loud. So there are different things out there that are available, and laser engraving, laser cutting is viable, and it's something that you can add to your business and do a whole lot of stuff with that laser thing, man. It's insane what all you can do with the laser cutter and laser engraver. So yeah, that's something I've been looking into, but I haven't looked super hard into it because there's something else out there. And so I'm excited to go into that at some point in time soon. Saw an ad for an Epson printer that prints freely on the shirt. Dana, that's a direct to garment. type of setup. Now, I haven't seen a new one, so that could be something new that's coming out. Hey, Gail Whitaker, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. We appreciate it. Carmen, yes, I was new to embroidery, bought the 10 needle baby lot plate for the name, which I knew more about the industrial. I would have purchased the red line and gotten more for my money. There are other industrial machines out there that are um, still kind of expensive. I'm sorry, affordable. Affordable. They're like, for instance, Happy industrial machines. They're pretty affordable as well. Doesn't have to be just Redline, but Redline is an excellent, the best bargain I've found out there so far. Shayna, put a green blanket behind you and you can make it a green screen. I have a green screen, just don't use it. I probably should. Um, just Crafty Chantel. I just bought the Alliance 2 weeks ago. I would love a multi-needle, but staying in budget. We'll see how business goes. Just got started in March of this year. Sweet. So far, so good. That's what's up. I am glad to hear that because the embroidery industry has not died down from COVID and stuff like that. So that's a good thing. Michelle, welcome. Good evening to you as well. And thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Candy A says, I do have a scan and cut, a sublimation, and 2 embroidery machines. So that is why I said blanks and supplies. Then probably another embroidery machine when I can pay most or all of it off. No worries, because blanks and supplies is still a huge part of what we do. Especially if there are certain things, like, for instance, if you got a mug press, you really need to be getting mugs. All right, you really need to be getting mugs because the mug press is one of those instant gratification type things that you should be able to crank out pretty quickly. And that will increase the odds that you will get more business because folks want a quick turnaround time for the things that they absolutely want. Because, you know, we are a get it now, I want it now type society. So having mugs on hand that you can sublimate and get done super quick in this mug press is not a bad idea, right? So that's not a bad thing to get blanks and supplies. Candy A to my, what the heck? DTG, another new thing, can't handle the truth. Make it stop. No, Candy, actually, it's going to get worse. It is going to get worse because we got to, hopefully, we'll have something really cool to show on the channel next week. Next week, maybe. Let us see. So Crafty says a down payment. Yas on the red line. That's what's up. Simone supplies in the red line. Excellent discount. Oh, thank you. Betty's Nail says, does anybody know where I can order a printer and make payments? What type printer? Are you talking about the direct to garment? Are you talking about sublimation? Because there are, like, for instance, CondeDieTrans.com. I think they have financing. I can look at it real quick on their website. Matter of fact, I'll look at it now. Barbara says Epson direct to garment is priced $14,495. That's with a discount. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's crazy. DTG sublimation. No, direct to garment is not sublimation. I thought sublimation was the least expensive hobby compared to cut machines and embroidery. Well, if DTG is sublimation, I will have to take that back. No, it's not. So Candy A, direct to garment is it's a thicker ink. You can feel it when it prints on the shirt, but it prints kind of like screen print, like a thinner screen print type ink. Okay, so direct to garment, it just prints the image on the shirt. It has white ink, and it does it, of course, the white first, and then it fills in all the rest over the top of that. Now, similar to the white toner printer, the white is the part that makes it even more expensive because most people want dark shirts or color shirts, and they want their image to pop and have white in the image. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a black shirt, there's a lot of white ink that's going to have to go in the back of the design in order to get that design to pop. So your direct to garment is basically just a printer that prints the ink. It's a thicker ink and it prints it directly onto the surface of the shirt. There's no sublimation to it. But the problem with direct to garment is generally you can't just get a regular basic cotton t-shirt and print on it because the shirts, brand new shirts, come with a coating on it to help preserve it. You know how you get a brand new shirt and it's like that crispy, fresh, crisp feel and smell and it's nice and clean. Okay, those are chemicals that make that shirt smell and look and feel like that, right? Well, those chemicals are protecting the shirt. So if you do direct to garment on top of those chemicals, it's going to wash out. All right, so there is a pre-treat because most of your direct to garment, especially the bigger direct to garment companies, they know you need to sell a pre-treat machine that comes with the direct to garment printer. It's not just direct to garment because you have to treat the shirt first. So if you get a pre-treat machine, you have to get this. It's like a spray booth, right? It's a big machine. You put the shirt in there. The machine sprays the chemical on it, and then you lay the shirt on the heat press, let it cure, so to speak, and dry on the shirt. Then you put the shirt on the direct to garment machine, and you print the image on the shirt, and then you have to let it dry again on top of the heat press. I don't think you press that one. I know on the first one you just hover it over the shirt or something like that, and then one of the steps you actually press, and then it does it on the shirt. Can't remember which step it was. I think pressing was the pre-treat, and then once you print it, you hover it over and let it dry or something to that effect. It's been a while. I need to go back and watch the video again. But that's the basic setup with the direct to garment. Now with direct to garment, there are shirts out there that you can purchase that are already made for direct to garment printing. And then you don't have to do the pre-treat process. The problem is most people want shirts that are well known, like Bella and Canvas, Gildan, Jerseys, who all else the heck is out there. But the thing with doing those type shirts, the pre-treated shirts, they're not the name brand shirts. They cost more than your regular t-shirts. But even though they cost more than the regular t-shirts, if you buy the regular t-shirts, which are cheaper, you got to do the pre-treat. So you're adding that cost back into the cost of the shirt. So it kind of evens out about to the same price. So there's good things and bad things about direct to garment. And like I said, direct to garment is awesome if all you're doing is t-shirts, right? Well, what if it's wintertime? Nobody wears t-shirts unless they do long sleeve shirts, but they want hoodies and sweatshirts. And what about pants? Why I can't do my pants leg? Okay, so that's where sublimation can come in and knock direct to garment out the water, because direct to garment you can do on any color, but sublimation you can do on polyester, and you don't have to worry about those restrictions. So it's like there's one or the other. It's kind of crazy, which is why, again, we're having this discussion so that you'll know what to invest in and what is the best thing to spend your money on when you have the funds, right? Okay, so let's take a quick break. And what I'm going to do is switch you guys over to Cricut, because I definitely wanted to show you something really super neat that I have done here on this Cricut. And let's switch use. Let's do a mug real quick. So I want to show you how I made the stitching mug, Queen of Stitching. And the mug press is actually really cool. As I mentioned, actually, let's switch you here. Yes, switch you here. So the mug press is really cool. We got it today, actually. Went and picked it up so that you guys can see how this works and what all goes in with it or whatever. It's actually really neat. When you get it, the thingy is down. But prior to using it, the flap is up so that the door is open. Now, this is just a go over for those who don't know anything about this. And then once you're ready to press a mug, you will put the mug on the inside like so. And this is really cool because it does the 11 ounce and the bigger 15 ounce mug, which I can go and grab one and show you what that looks like. And then when you're ready to press, you just push the little this flap down, which I'm sitting down. Let me stand up, being darn lazy, Lord, y'all. You press this down and it will start the process of cooking. And there's no timer on here because the lights light up in order. Once it gets to this last light, there's an audible beep to let you know that it's ready, and you can pull it out, take it off, and then you got you a mug that has been pressed, right? So yes, they say this. I mean, yes, this is a Cricut product. Yes, Cricut has its own sublimation infusible ink set up. I'm not using that today. All right, so I can print from my Sawgrass. I can print from my personal sublimation printer, which is not Sawgrass, it's the Epson that I converted. And I can put it in this press and I can sublimate with it because sublimation is still sublimation, whether it's the infusible ink or whether it's with the sublimation ink. So yes, this does work with the non-infusible ink. When you get it, you have to plug it in, and there's a port in the back of this thing where you have to connect it to your printer, your computer. And when you connect it to the computer via USB, it will register this to you and it will do an update, firmware update, make sure that all of the, computer programming stuff on the inside works great and is updated, and then it's good to go. You cannot use this without registering this thing via USB to your Cricut account, which is kind of crazy in my opinion, but I can understand their reasoning behind that. But again, to me, that's kind of crazy. So let's grab, since I'm in the kitchen, let's see, where is one? Let's grab a 15-ounce mug out of the, let's see, is I have one in the dishwasher? No, I don't. Where is my mug? Oh, here's one. So here is a 15-ounce mug right here. This is a bigger mug. This is a mug that comes from Conde System. Sorry, it's wet. I just pulled it out the sink. And this is one that I sublimated. I did it live. Well, no, I was going to do it live, but I didn't like how it printed out. So I ended up doing it later. But this is how it turned out because I was going to do this that day. This is my personal mug. And this is from Dytrans. The link to these mugs are in the description below if you want to buy the black handle with the black rim. But this is 15 ounce versus the 11 ounce. And again, you would just slide it in, and as you see, this fits the 15 ounce as well, which I think is awesome sauce. And again, press the thing down and it will sublimate the mug. Now, one of the questions that I've seen a lot of people asking with this thing is, can it print under the handle? And the answer to that is no, because in order to sublimate right here, you have to have heat right here, okay? And there's no heat right here when you put this in the press. So once this door closes, as you see, all of this is exposed. So there's no heat from the heat cuff that is touching and sublimating that part. So if this liner doesn't touch it, then it's not going to apply the heat and sublimate it. It's not going to get hot enough to get it a consistent print right here under the handle. So how do you get mugs to print under the handle? Well, you would have to either put it in the convection oven and have a mug wrap that will hold everything tight to even under the handle, and we'll talk about that here in a moment as well. Hopefully we'll have time. Or you can get a silicone mug wrap and put it in the oven as well. But usually your mug presses will clamp right here and you can't get under that handle, which is, for the most part, not that big of a deal. All right, so here is the mug press, and I have the Cricut Joy here because one of the things that I saw, I didn't purchase one, but one of the things that I saw at the store is the infusible ink pens. Okay, so Dytrans.com, same place where we get our mugs and where that this 15-ounce mug came from, Dytrans.com, because Joann's was out of the Cricut mugs, so I couldn't get any mugs to go with it. But I already had some anyway, so it didn't matter. But they have pens that are sublimation pens, and that's what this is, which also came from Dytrans. Dytrans sent this for us to play with. Now, this pen fits in the Joy. It does fit in the Joy, which is how I did the mug. So let's show you how that worked out and how we were able to do that mug with the Cricut Joy, okay? So switching over to the Cricut interface here, this is my blank design space canvas. And what we're going to do is go into projects right here. And There's all kind of stuff in here, but what I'm going to do is type in mug and hit enter. And they have all kinds of mug designs that you can choose from. Like for instance, this one says mug design setup. And if you have the subscription, all of this you can just click on and use it. If you don't have the subscription, you may have to pay for whatever. I don't know because I have the subscription. So it's kind of hard for me to know what you can and can't do. But they have all kinds of options that you can use with the, what is the name there? The infusible ink papers. And they help you out with that. But this one, it says, I think this is the right one, drawn mug design setup. Let me click that and see if that's it. I think it is. So let's go finish size. And nope, that's not it. That's not it. Hold on. Or maybe that was it. Let me see. Because I just looked at it earlier. Oh, maybe that is it. Okay. So we're going to do the 12-ounce mug. And then we're going to go to customize. And they say that you can do this. Yep, this is it. They say that you can do this with laser copy paper and the Cricut infusible ink pens. Yes, that is correct. I can use regular paper as well. But what I did do was I took my sublimation paper that's 8.5 by 11, and I cut the 8.5 by 11 strips straight down the page to cut them into 4.25 by 11 sheet strips. Because as you see, once I cut this into that size strip, it fits this mug perfectly. Okay, so it's just as tall as the mug, so I don't have to worry about wasting paper, doing a whole sheet of paper and only using half of it or anything like that. So I cut them into strips, and I'll show you how that's going to translate once we get into Design Space. Because as you see here, this has been cut, or they have a shape preloaded that will fit perfectly around the 11-12 ounce mug. Okay, so that's what this is. And as you see, they were nice, and they put marks to help you see where the one side of the mug is, the middle of the mug is, and the other side of the mug, which I thought was pretty neat. That was pretty cool of them. Okay, and it's already going to cut out. So what I did was I went into text and I typed in Queen of Space, and then I put stitching, not stitching, STITCHIN, and apostrophe, right? So here's this, and of course it's way too big, unless I wanted it to be that big on the mug, but here's this on the mug, but this is a cut. This font says basic cut. Look up here to the top left, and you see where it says basic cut. All right. And also, real quick, if you look to the top right beside the Make It button, you see I do have the Joy selected. So this will fit the Cricut Joy, even though right now this triangle is telling me that it's too big to use with the Cricut Joy. But notice it says hide this layer before cutting, basically. So the red marks showing the different mugs, we're not going to cut that out, right? So that makes it fit the Cricut Joy. So I thought it was pretty cool that this is a really neat project that you can use with the Cricut Joy as well. You can do mugs, okay? So here I have, going back to my fonts, and you see up here it says basic cut. We're using the pens, so that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to go into my fonts, and I'm going to filter my fonts. Okay, so all System Cricut search fonts up in the right-hand corner, and I'm going to click filter, and I'm going to put writing, because I only want the fonts to pull up that I can use to write with. Okay, so here's several that are pulling up. This one says single layer cutting writing. I've found it works better for me if I find the fonts that are just writing fonts, not the ones that cut as well. Because the ones that cut tend to just draw the outline of the letter. It doesn't actually fill in the letter. But I haven't 100% played with that part of it, but we'll see how it goes. So the font that I chose was this zigzag font right here. And once I chose the zigzag font, as you see, it looks great. I don't have to worry about it doing double lines or anything like that. So I moved it over. You can resize it if you want to. but I moved it over here to this side of the mug. Actually, let me look at that. Yeah, so when I'm drinking it, because I'm right-handed, people see that I'm queen of stitching, so I'm okay with that. That's where it was. And then on this side, what I did was I just typed in stitching, TCHIN, and what happened to it? Did I do this? I did this before. Hold on. Font, writing. Let's see. Actually, let's do it this way. That way I don't have to worry about it. I duplicated it, and now I'm just going to change this to stitching. Okay. And now that I have this, all I did was angle it and then moved it in place to where it's kind of centered somewhat on the mug. And that's that, right? Let me make sure it's centered better down this way. There we go. And that's all I did, y'all. It was that simple. Then I'm going to take my text, hold down shift, select both of the text, and I'm going to attach that. I'm going to hide the red marks that show me where the layout is for the mug layer. And then I'm going to actually select it all at this point now. And I'm going to do attach because I want to make sure that when this draws out and then cuts, it's going to cut exactly where I want it to. And that's how I made it. Now you can do one of two things. If you're bad like I am and forget to flip your stuff around, then you can flip it now. And then that way, anytime I come back to this project, it's already reversed. I don't have to think super hard about it. And then I can just go ahead and tell it to make it. So right here, beside arrange, we're going to click on flip horizontal. So now I don't have to worry about my stuff printing backwards anymore. So now when we go to make it, I'm going to do mine on the mat. And my project is right here. So I'm going to need to use the long Cricut mat. Now I can put a link in the description below for the light grip mat that I purchased, where it actually came with 2 of these light grip mats and it came with 2 of the regular grip mats. I got it from Amazon. It was pretty inexpensive. It wasn't super expensive at all. So I can put a link in the description below for these. I don't think they're Cricut brand, but it definitely works in my joy. So here's our mat. And what I did was I got sublimation paper. Remember I said I got the 8.5 by 11 and I cut it in 4 1/4 inch strips by 11. Okay. And then this is, what does that say? 12 inches long. So look, it fits perfectly on this paper. So I'm going to, on this mat. So I'm going to lay this down on the mat so that it lines up against each line. And now I'm ready. I want to make sure too that when I put this on the paper, there's one side of my sublimation paper that has writing on it. So I know that's not the right side. I want the blank side up. And now that I've done that, let's go ahead and hit continue. And it's connecting to the Cricut Joy. And I'm going to select paper because that's what I'm using. I could probably just put regular paper too. And I'm going to lessen my pressure a little bit. Okay, and so now we need to take this out, the cutting blade, and we need to put the pen in. Now, when you put the pen inside the cutter, this particular one that came from Conde has a chisel tip to it. So I like to point the chisel to the front of the machine. And then when you put it in, check down. Oh, sorry. Let's switch you over so that you can see what I'm doing on the machine. My bad. So when you put this, we took the blade out, we flipped open the lever, and we're going to put the pen in. And when you put it in, I like to look and make sure that I see the tip come down to the bottom, because this isn't like the Cricut infusible ink pens where it will automatically stop where it needs to be. But I just look for this to be just barely above the mat. When I put it in, it's not touching the mat, but it's just above the mat. Okay, because you don't want it to touch the mat. You want to make sure that, because as this does its writing or its cutting, it puts pressure to go down. So you don't want it to smash the pen into the paper. You want it to hover above it, right? So I'm going to close the latch. And now that that's done, it's saying to load the mat. So let's go ahead and put it in. And as you see, it's up against the edge of the paper. And then it's going to suck this through and make sure that it's even. And now that it's aligned and everything's good, I tell on the computer screen, click go. And now it's going to actually draw out the design that I created on the Cricut. Just that easy and just that cool. So it's pretty neat. What I also would do is go online, see if I can find some other fonts that it will draw like this, where I don't have to worry about it doing an outline of the font or whatever. But again, I used the infusible ink pen, sorry, not infusible, the infusible is by Cricut, but the sublimation ink pens that are on dietrends.com. And I'll go ahead and put a link to these pens in the description box while that is cutting out. Writing out, because we're going to cut it next. So Dietrends, let's see. Let's see. So it's not a blank. Let's see. Must have, maybe. Nope. There we go. So with these markers that I'm going to put in the description box, you can definitely let them know when you call to order these that you were referred by the Baby's Booty and you get extra coupons and stuff from Dietrends. All right, so the pins are in the chat now. Not in the chat, in the description box. And this should be done. Yep, it's done. So I'm going to actually switch y'all after I tell it to, where is Cricut? Sorry. I was on the other page. Oh, so now, whoops. Nope, I'm wrong. Now we need to put the blade in. I forgot just that quick. Hopefully it don't mess up. There we go. Make sure I put my cap back on. And we're going to get us some, oh, there's already a mug sitting here. Okay, so this is done. So now what we'll do is hit the unload button and we'll pull this off. And notice now it's as if we sublimated on it and it cut out the template for it to fit perfectly on the mug. I'm going to pull it off with a mat. Now I'm going to get my heat tape and my mug. And this is made so that it rests just at the handle, as you see here, and we're going to wrap it around. which is really cool. Make sure that it's nice and straight. I like to kind of set it down, make sure that it's not crooked, because I'm bad about putting this on here crooked. I've done it crooked once already. And then we'll heat tape right here in the middle to make sure that that does not come apart while it's in the machine. Now, they tended to do heat tape on the bottom as well. It shouldn't need all of that as long as I'm paying attention once I put it in the mug press. Then we also should put paper around it. So let me grab my butcher paper, which I had out here, but I ended up moving it. Whoops. So I use, and I'm tearing up. Y'all know I got to tear up every single time I come on live and do a project live. Got to tear up something. So I'm knocking stuff all over the place. Okay, so here's my butcher paper that I use from Sam's Club. And what I'm going to do is pull off, you know, generous amount, nothing super crazy. Because what I'm trying to get it to do is fold down to about that size. So this is going to be a little bit big. So all I'm going to do is take it and I'm going to fold it in half. All right, and then as I see, it's going to be way too big here. So we're going to fold in. I'm going to fold in a little bit here and here just to help it fit around the mug a little bit better. Because what you're trying to do is protect this inner surface. Sublimation ink is so strong and so potent, it will bleed through just your basic sheet of paper, whether it's copy paper, whether it's sublimation paper, doesn't matter. It bleeds through it because this is some strong ink, and it has a strong smell to it as well. So keep that in mind when you're choosing to do sublimation. You definitely want to have ventilation with this thing, not in a closed up room, because the fumes on this thing is tragic. And it's not because it's not because of the machine, it's because of the ink. Okay, so keep that in mind. So all I did was just wrap the butcher paper around it. You can even tuck it in if you want to. It's not necessary, but you kind of want it to be where the cup can sit flush without the paper disturbing it. And then one more piece of tape, one or two more pieces if you want to. And this is all you need. And then we'll put it in the mug press as soon as that beeps and lets me know that it's heated up enough. And that's pretty much how I did that mug. So to sit here and actually come up with, you know, some designs that would work with a pen where you're not having to have a sublimation printer, you can actually do some really cool designs with just the Cricut Joy and the mug press by itself and the ink pens, you know. So if you have a kid's drawing, for instance, let's go to their web page. So if you have a kid's drawing, for instance, you can cut these strips out and have them draw, you know, because remember it was about this much of the paper. Have them draw, and then you can use that and cut it out with the Cricut. Or you can come up with a design within Cricut and have the pen draw out some words or whatever by using the writing function with the pen. So they have the basic colors. Well, I'm sorry, this says botanical colors sublimation. Then you have primary colors here, pack of 6. Then you have the pastel colors here. Then you have just basic black if you wanted just basic black. So they have all of these different packs, and these are these pens that fit in the Cricut Joy for me. Okay, they fit in the Cricut Joy. So yes, these are some options that are available, which I thought was pretty cool. Did you see any of that? Because it doesn't look like you did. No, you probably didn't see any of the stuff. Let's let you see what was on my screen. I apologize. So here on dietrends.com, which is where I linked the pack to this first pack of markers, is in the description box of this video. But here they have this pack. They also have the primary colors pack, pastel colors pack, and then they have all black markers because, of course, as you continue to use it, especially in the machine, it's going to wear the markers out over time. So no worries about that. You can get refills, and not refills, but you can, this pack has more than one of the black. And then the other colors, which was pretty cool. And it's just really neat that it actually fit in the Cricut Joy. And I didn't have to buy anything extra, didn't have to struggle to make it fit and force it to fit, nothing like that. The only thing is I did need to make sure that it didn't go all the way to the bottom and touch the pad, the mat in the machine. So this beep to let me know that it's done. So we'll just go ahead and slide this sucker right on into the thing. And I tend to want the handle to rest up against this side because that way the door doesn't have to fight and push the mug. It's already pushed over. And then I'm sitting down again. Push the handle down. All right. And here we have the count up. It's not counting down, it's counting up that way on the mug. So while that is pressing, we're going to go ahead and get back into the chat because I think that's a good 4 or 5 minutes for it to cook in the machine, or at least I call it cooking or whatever. All right, so going back to Kingsbury Crafts, you crafty thing, I appreciate that. So getting back into our discussion, we're talking about the options that are available out there, which option is better to go with, and things like that. So Kingsbury Crafts, you pointed out if you're interested in DTG, you might want to check into DTF. It's more versatile and less expensive. My dear, I already have. So that's something I did not know existed, and I would actually really like to get into it a little bit more once I know a lot more. But it is something that I have looked into. And what Kingsbury Crafts is talking about is okay, so I'm sure you guys have probably heard of a white toner printer. The white toner printers can print transfers. Okay, it's not sublimation, even though like the iColor printer can print with sublimation ink and be a sublimation printer, but you have to buy the cartridges that makes it a sublimation printer. But the cool thing about the white toner printer is you can swap it out. So you can use the cartridges that make it a sublimation printer because it's toner. It's not like ink, like liquid ink. So once you pour the liquid ink into like the Sawgrass or the Epson printers or the Echo Tank printers, once you pour that ink in there, that's in the printer. Like you can't swap out cartridges readily and turn it back into a regular printer or something like that. It's like a sublimation printer at this point. You can over time flip-flop them, but that's a whole process. Whereas the iColor or I can't think of the name of, it's more than iColor, it's iColor and then it's another name for that printer. But the white toner printers, you can get the toner and swap out the toners. So it will turn from a white toner printer to a sublimation printer. So that's pretty cool, especially for the price. Because the price of the white toner printer is kind of pricey. So let's look at a white toner printer real quick, or really quickly. Let's go to my friends at the Heat Transfer Warehouse, for instance. And we are now affiliates with the Heat Transfer Warehouse, which is really cool. So we'll have some stuff that we'll be dealing with them here shortly. But let's go ahead while that mug is counting up, and we're going to show you the white toner printer. So this is the Uninet iColor 560, and we'll click on it. It's showing right now $39.95. So if you got the 5K, this is for $1,000. It'll leave you with $1,000 to buy the other stuff to go with this printer. 9 times out of 10, it does come with the inks, the beginning toners and stuff like that. It probably doesn't come with paper. Let's see. It includes the software and toner. So it doesn't come with the paper that you would need to buy. and it doesn't come with a refill on the toner. So if you wanted to go ahead and invest in that, you could. But with this, it does come with Afterpay, so you can make payments on this with Afterpay, or with, who is this? I forget who the A is, but that's somebody else that you can do regular payments if you wanted to. So these are, oh wait a minute, no, Afterpay is between up to $2,000, so now that won't work. But Affirm, I think, is who this is. So you can qualify for financing with Affirm if you wanted to, and make payments on this printer. White toner is basically, it's going to print on a transfer. You can have a one-step process or a two-step process and press it to a shirt. Any t-shirt, cotton, polyester blend, doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what color the shirt is. It can be black, it could be white, it could be blah, blah, blah. Which, when I first heard about it, I thought that was the answer to all of my t-shirt prayers, where I can print out a transfer and I can put it to a shirt and I wouldn't have to worry about it. Well, what I have found, a friend of mine who lives near me has one of these, and she's ready to chuck it out the window right now because it's, and it could be the way she's using it, or it could be that she's not using it enough in the way that they suggest you use it, but she is not it's not making the money for her that she felt it should, especially sinking 4K into it. And each toner cartridge for this thing is like $300. So the black is $300, the red is $300, the yellow is $300, but the white is $600 because the white is the main part of the darn thing. All right, so our mug is done. Let's switch this real quick so that you can see. All I did was, thus far, is just lift the handle so that it would open the little door and not overcook. And I'm just grabbing it. The handle is very cool, so you don't have to worry about burning yourself with the handle. But the rest of this is hot, as you can see from the burn marks at the top of this thing from off of my paper. And I'm not going to set it on this table here because this is plastic and I don't want it to melt because these suckers are super, super, super hot. So I'm going to set it over here on this wooden table and let it cool off while we continue our discussion on the white toner printer. So the white toner printer is something that I've looked into, but in talking to her, I've decided against it. Then in addition to that, some of those transfers, if it's a solid background, like there's no gradient or anything like that, they suggest that you print it in such a way where it has, I'm saying gradient in this instance right now, but it's the wrong term, but print it with a type of a gradient so that there are spaces in between the printout so that it can stretch and not crack or damage the actual printout, that the transfer that applies to the shirt and stays there. So it's not ideal, unfortunately, due to that. Now, certain designs, if there's a lot of space or open areas in the design, yes, white toner printer is actually pretty good if you can get around the cost of the toner. The cost of the toner is ridiculous, but they were ahead of their time. It was a situation that resolved a lot of problems people had. And as long as you were printing the right types of designs, it's actually a really good option so that you can print on any of the types of shirts, the cotton and polyester. So these are things that with your investment, we're trying to find something that works the best for you, right? So DTF is very similar to white toner printers, but it's a different type of printer and it prints on a film, and you can use that film, press it to the shirt after you apply the adhesive to the back, and it does the same thing, and it's more flexible and pliable for when you put it to the shirt, durable. You can stretch the shirt and the design stretches with it. So that's something that we're looking into. It is a lot more affordable than the white toner setup, because as I mentioned, once you buy the printer for, what did we say, $4,000, then you have your refills, which the white by itself is $600, so that just leaves you with $400 after you buy a refill of the white, and that don't include your paper, right? So, and the paper is pricey as well. So you have some things that, you know, that's a pretty major investment. But just like we found out with the direct to garment, the price is, you know, you can get away with it or not. But we'll have more information about DTF and how it works and get into that next week, hopefully. That's the plan anyway, to get into that as long as um, we can make the time for it. So, at any rate, getting back into our other conversation while the mugs are cooling off, we are trying to go into the different things. So, now when it comes to Cricut, some people were saying they would purchase Cricut, some would say they will purchase Silhouette, some say Scan and Cut. So different folks utilize the different cutting machines. As you see, Cricut can be a good option because of all of the different things they have available out there, whereas Silhouette um, can be less of a cost burden, so to speak, because with their software, you buy it one time and you're done. You don't have to worry about those recurring charges like you do with the Cricut. But with the Silhouette, there's more of an industrial feel with the Silhouette, using the Silhouette machine versus using the Cricut, because like the Silhouette, you have 3 different size options that are available out there. If you can find the larger size option, they've sold out all over the place. But you also have roll feeders that you can use with the Silhouette. That's not an option with Cricut, any of the Cricut machines. And right now, Cricut's largest size is 12 inches. You can't get bigger than that, whereas with the Pro, I think it goes to what, 21 inches or something like that. Pretty big, 21 or 25, I can't remember. But you have options out there and different price points. The cool thing between Silhouette and Cricut is the prices are comparable. Even though right now Cricut's price is pretty darn good, and up until today, Joann's had a sale on the Cricut. So there are options like that. Dottie Kirkland pointed out that white toner printer is a nice addition to complement sublimation, good for dark fabric and other substrates. So yes, there are other things available out there. I've been seeing ads on Facebook about paper you can print on any printer and it sublimates into the fabric. Is it the same kind of thing as sublimation you would do with the special printers? I would say I saw that ad. I saw that ad on Facebook, and I am going to say be cautious. Be very, 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 very cautious with that specific ad. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, number one, sublimation is a process. It's a scientific term that describes a scientific process that sublimation ink is designed for. Sublimation ink, first of all, sublimation ink is absorbed into the fabric, just like you said. But they said any printer, which you can't put sublimation ink in any printer if you don't have the right cartridge for that printer. And second of all, because this is the thing, regular ink, which is in any printer, if that was the case, any printer should be able to print. And just like, okay, let me back up and get my words together, because that seeing that ad kind of rubbed me the wrong way for a couple of reasons. Number one, just like this Cricut pointed out and showing you with the Cricut Joy, I used a sublimation ink pen. You can use this on regular paper. I use sublimation paper. You don't have to. You can use this pen on regular copy paper, but it's sublimation ink. And you can sublimate on these mugs, right? But you can't use any ink on regular copy paper and sublimate with something, because you're using basic ink. Basic ink does not sublimate. It just doesn't. If that's the case, anybody and everybody could sublimate, and there would be no need to convert printers and buy sublimation ink and all that whole nine. So regular ink, no, you can't. And they're saying that the paper is what will allow regular ink to sublimate. That's not correct either. So there is a paper from dyetrends.com actually that you can purchase that is a it's a transfer of sorts. I would call it a transfer, where you can print on your regular printer on this paper, and it will print on a surface of the paper that has a coating, and that coating will adhere to the shirt with regular ink, and you can print on it. But usually in that instance, it's a light colored shirt, or if it's not a light, they do have dark colored transfers. They're called transfer papers. If it's a dark colored shirt, if you just did the square on the shirt, it won't work. You'll have a white square, or you'll have a square and then your image. I don't know how to really explain it, but you you really have to have sublimation ink in order to sublimate, if that makes sense. Because if you're wanting it to absorb into the fabric of the shirt, and it has to be polyester, because sublimation will not sublimate into cotton. You have to put something on that cotton for the sublimation to absorb into. You have to put some kind of polyester on the cotton for the sublimation ink to absorb into that polyester and be on the shirt. There's a video I have on it. There's some spray that some people can spray on a shirt, and supposedly it blends into the fiber. Liquid absorbs into the fiber of the shirt, and when it dries, you can sublimate on it. Because what happens is the ink is going to be drawn and sublimate into the polyester residue that's left after it dries on the shirt. The only problem is, in a lot of those instances, that washes out. So it's not a good long term, but some people swear by it. That's okay. That's up to you. Try it, give it a shot. And that's one thing I will say, try some of anything. But that particular ad that I saw on Facebook, I'm going to say be cautious about it. Number one, because you can't sublimate with regular ink. You're sublimating, the paper has to have something in order for it to sublimate. And it's not going to go into cotton. I don't care what anybody says. It's got to sublimate into something polyester. Number two, nobody in that ad said that they had bought it before. Nobody. Everybody that was leaving comments in that ad was saying, give me more information. How soon does it get here? What's the turnaround time? That sounds great. Where do I sign up? Stuff like that. But nobody said, I have this and it works great. They didn't have anything to prove to me that this was an American company or a trustworthy company. And I'm not going to say American, because there are some overseas companies that are very trustworthy. So let me not say it that way. But you learn more about sublimation before you look into that. Learn more, because sometimes we can invest in something that sounds too good to be true and end up losing money. And I have looked into sublimation high and low before I started getting into sublimation, and I know what sublimation is from top to bottom. And you cannot sublimate on cotton. You have to have polyester, and you have to have a sublimation ink. You can't use a regular printer to sublimate because that's not sublimation. You're just printing on a paper that has a coating that will glue to the shirt. And that's how that image gets to the shirt. So, sorry, on a soapbox, but that's a sore spot for me, because a lot of folks are saying, oh, this is sublimation and you can sublimate on cotton. You can't. You can't sublimate on cotton. You just can't. It's impossible, because it's only a polyester-based material that will sublimate. Will Allen, I would like a white toner printer. Let's hang off on those white toner printers for those who don't have it, and let's look into DTF, which we will be going into next week. Shirley Dabney, the PE 550D is a good printer, a good embroidery machine for a beginner. Yes, it is. See, Candy A, make her stop. White toner printer, DTG, no, make her stop. Yeah, hang on, y'all. We got something that's coming down the pipes, and I'm super excited to learn more about that. And the other thing I like about that mug press, you leave it on, it's like, we've been sitting over here on, we need to turn off. Good for folks like me who forget. So that's a cool thing to look into as well. Dana says, I have 3 Cricuts in my house. Marianne, silhouette cutter for the rhinestones. That's what's up. So too we begin embroidery. Buying a brother 10 needle price depends on the dealer. That's why they don't advertise. You can negotiate. So yes, that is available. Designs by Deshale. It is my wholesaler is oh my gosh, Carolina made. Carolina made, and I'll put it in the chat where they sell t-shirts and very affordable at that. Carolina made. And Jiffy Shirts is good too. Their prices are pretty comparable. But Carolina made is more affordable in a lot of instances. All right, so I've missed a lot of stuff. So let's see, inkjet transfer sheets. That's what they're referring to, but it's still not sublimation. Thank you, Sheila. Inkjet transfers are not sublimation. They are just ink, and it's ink and regular ink, and the paper has a coating that transfers to the shirt, and so the ink sticks to the coating of the paper and it applies to the shirt, and that's how that works. The dark colored one is just, it's basically like a vinyl type of material, and then you print on it and then you peel it off, and that leaves the vinyl type material, and the white vinyl type material presses to the shirt so you can feel it. Whereas sublimation, true sublimation onto a polyester or polyester blend shirt, you cannot feel anything. When you can feel the material on the shirt, that's called a hand. You can't feel any hand on a sublimation shirt. It feels just like the shirt itself. Whereas all these other processes, you feel something. Screen print, you can feel the screen print, plastisoles, the inks. Vinyl, you can feel it. Heat transfer paper, you can feel it. Inkjet transfer, you can feel it. Everything else you can feel on the shirt except sublimation. That's because sublimation absorbs into the actual fiber and becomes one with the shirt. It becomes one. You can't wash it out. You can't bleach it out. So if you screw up, you might as well throw the shirt away. That's it. Sublimation becomes one. But it has to be white or a light color in order for you to see it really well. Easy Subli vinyl. That's another option where a person can sublimate on the vinyl and apply it to the shirt, a cotton shirt, and you can sublimate onto the Easy Subli and apply the Easy Subli to the shirt. That's how they're able to sublimate onto a cotton shirt, but actually you're sublimating on the vinyl, the Easy Subli vinyl. Let us see. Let us see. So at the end of the day, I'm making sure I'm not missing anything, but at the end of the day, that's the printer you spoke to me about, right? Yes, Miss Bickham. Yes, that is correct. So at the end of the day, what I'm going to suggest is really, because we got 10 minutes left. Oh, our mug should be cooled down too, by the way. But think really hard about that 5K and think about the things that you're looking to add to your studio or to your business or invest in yourself, actually. Because like I said, you don't have to make money off of it. If it's just something you just want to do, then invest in it, right? But make sure you do the research, because just like in the instance of these folks saying, you know, you can sublimate with a regular ink printer, that's not the case. And you're going to waste a lot of money investing in something that they're making seem like it's a new concept when it really isn't. There are ink transfer papers that you can buy now and print on a regular paper, and yes, in a regular printer, and yes, you can print or put an image on a cotton shirt. Dark, light, doesn't matter. All you got to do is go on Amazon and look up inkjet transfer shirt, inkjet transfer paper. Dark shirts, light shirts. You can buy it now. It's not sublimation. It's regular ink printers, but that's not sublimation. So don't be fooled by that. But here's our mug, and this is the butcher paper, and here is the wrapping paper, and here is the mug. And what we'll do is go into our Facebook group and see who would like to have our mug that we just did here on the show, because as you see, I have 2, and then I have 4 more mugs sitting here on the table that I can sublimate if I want to. and put something different on it. So here we've got our Queen of Stitching, which is, we do a lot of stitching around here. And so I thought that was suitable to put on our show. Super cute, right? So I appreciate you guys weighing in. Candy definitely brought out something really cool that I think would be totally awesome. She says, I already could use the money. However, if this keeps up, spend the 5K on house cleaning. My girl, trying to tell you, that's where you spend the money. Because who wants to clean? We just want to craft. We don't want to clean. So at any rate, before we go, I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. It was a lot of fun. If you are a captain here on the YouTube channel, if you're a YouTube captain member, I have your files already for the month of April. If you just joined as a captain tonight, I don't know, I didn't look, but I'll look. If you, oh, hey, Miss Carol Coleman, love, how are you? I gotta get up with you later. But if you joined as a captain tonight, or if you're already a captain, I have your files, and I'm going to be sending those out between today and tomorrow. And then we will go ahead and schedule to do our meet up for the month of April. I was supposed to have done that tonight, but by the time I found the design that I wanted to use, I think it was too late to say, hey, let's meet tonight. And then y'all would have been like, oh my God, why did she let me know this last minute? I don't want it to be last minute. So I want to let you know when that is. So if you are a captain, be on the lookout for your email. If you're a recent captain, like within the last 30 days, shoot me an email. Let me know, hey, I'm one of your captains and I'm looking forward to getting my file and being a part of scheduling the meetup. And what we'll do is make sure you're on that list and get you your files, okay? So I hope you guys have a great evening. If you already have your mug press, definitely look into getting some pins and trying that out with the pins and making your own mugs with the pins. You don't have to have the paper from Cricut. You don't even have to have the any sublimation images, even though, as you guys know, Creative Fabrica has tons and tons and tons of totally adorable images that you can put on your mugs. Like this was off of Creative Fabrica. I got this off of Creative Fabrica, and we are an affiliate with Creative Fabrica, and we're also going to have a fans page with Creative Fabrica as well, meaning that if you wanted to be a member on Creative Fabrica, which is another subscription-based service, I know I apologize, but they're setting those up, and it will allow you to follow the Baby's Booty on Creative Fabrica as well if you would like to join over there, because we're going to be giving perks away with the Creative Fabrica subscription too. So they made an offer, and I'm like, a lot of y'all do go through Creative Fabrica, so hey, let's give it a shot. If you do, that's great. If not, I understand. No hard feelings. It's just something else out there that we could probably hang out with and have a good time. All right. So thank y'all for joining me. It's been a long week, and we hopefully will get our bells out and about within the next week. And then we'll also make sure that everyone gets everything. So if you would like a bell, please let me know soon so that we can put you on that list and get your bells out to you. So if there's not any other questions, I want to make sure I didn't miss the bell for anybody. I was definitely, because I didn't see any more bells. Tammy said you have to heat pottery, lower the heat so it won't bust in the oven. Marissa, I wasn't trying to get you to do Cricut Joy. Oh my God. Let's see. Hackers have already figured out how to do skinny tumblers. One lady even shows you don't have to constantly rotate it. I can send you the information in the email. Please do. That would be cool. Because I put a skinny tumbler in there and I was like, this is not going to fit. So, what is the best machine? What is the best bling machine to do just rhinestones? Take it by Force Crusade. Hopefully you haven't already logged out. I apologize for just now getting to your question. But as far as the best bling machine, now there are machines that actually lay down rhinestones for you on the transfer. You don't brush stones or anything. Those machines are about $12,000, $13,000 as well. So I don't think that's the type of machine you're talking about. If it is, I don't know what it costs because I don't know what machines they are because I haven't looked into it because I didn't have 12, 13K to invest in a Spangle machine. And I don't do that much rhinestone business where I think it would be lucrative to get a machine of that price. Whereas using just a Cricut, I have a Cricut machine to cut out the rhinestone transfers, brush the stones into, pick them up, and then put them on a garment. So you can use a Cricut, you can use a Silhouette, or you can use a scanning cut. There is no best machine, but the Silhouette doesn't. The Silhouette can make it easier. So if you wanted to get into doing rhinestones, I would definitely suggest the Silhouette cutting machine instead of the um, Cricut. All right. Sublimation you can do on polyester white. I wouldn't say that you can do it on dark colors. The only way I would say that you could do dark colors is, say for instance, a red. You can sublimate black on the red and the black will show up. But if you sublimate pink on a red shirt, it's not going to show up because the red is the primary color in the background and there's no white to mix in behind the pink to let the pink show up on top of the red. So when it comes to sublimation, you have to sublimate based off of a lighter color so that the sublimation ink can show. And we'll put a graphic in the hoop group this evening to show why we say light color or white, preferably garments, in sublimating on polyester shirts. And again, cotton, you technically can't sublimate on cotton, but if there is a sublimation transfer that you can use, like for instance the dye press spray where people spray it on the cotton shirt and then sublimate on the spray and it becomes a part of the shirt, you still would need to use a light colored shirt. So the graphic that we'll post in the Facebook group tonight will work there as well. All right. So thank you guys for joining us this evening. It was a lot of fun. We're queens of stitching around here. We also have some kings of stitching too, now that I think about it. So we may have to come up with a kings of stitching shirt. But these cups will be available in the Facebook group if you would like to grab hold of one. But otherwise, there's not much to it. It was a really cool project, a really easy project. And I look forward to seeing how you guys create your own mugs with your sublimation pens as well. Super, super simple. And yes, the mug press was a really cool, quick little investment and looks like it's going to be something we'll have some fun with around here. All right. So thank y'all for joining us. And I hope you have a good evening. Look forward to seeing you in the hoop groups around. And until the next time we see you, we hope you do well with your $5,000 when it does come, because I know it's coming because you got it in you. You do great work and you're going to make that kind of money. All right. So look forward to seeing you guys there. Y'all have a good night. Bye.